One more talking trash is all we have. One more interview, please don't be mad. Hey everybody, Joey here. Thanks for indulging in my little parody tune there. You're listening to Talking Trash with the Tin Can Bros, our interview series where we literally just talk about garbage with our friends. Just kidding. Or am I? This week we have one of our great friends and collaborators on the pod, Mary Kate Wiles. Whether you know MK from TCB projects like Spies Are Forever and Wayward Guide, or from her own creative producing team Shipwrecked Comedy, you probably know how easy it is to enjoy Mary Kate and her incredible work. I was lucky enough to meet MK way back in 2013 on the web series School of Thrones, and I couldn't be more grateful, because since that fateful shoot 8 years ago, Mary Kate has become one of my most frequent collaborators, talented peers, and dearest friends. And all that really shines through in this interview. Recorded right on the cusp of Wayward Guide's release in the fall, this conversation flows like red wine as we joke about choral arrangements, discuss the pros and cons of producing, and compliment her bangs when she played Artemis Shoehorn. Get cozy and enjoy our chat with Mary Kate Wiles.
First like 10 or 15 seconds where you just don't know if you're alive or you're not alive or where you are at all, you know?
You're questioning your existence.
Yeah, you wake up every day just going,
alive,
is this working?
But maybe not alive.
Hello, friends. We're getting a high.
We've got Mary Kate Wiles here, which is
Hi.
fun and exciting. You, of course,
Very
know her
exciting.
from that one sketch where she exercises her demons, and that's it, probably.
I forgot about that sketch.
That good, like, minute and a half long, short sketch.
Legitimately did not know what you were talking about for
That's
3 seconds.
That's a sketch where I was just like one day, I think I wrote it down in my notes app and just said, exercise your demons. And that was the extent of it.
That's a
That's
blackout
what?
sketch stretched to a minute and a half.
What was the gym we recorded that in?
It was
Didn't
the
we go-
CrossFit gym I was going to. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Was
Don't
that
anymore.
that was my first tin can appearance? I guess so.
Was it?
I think
Was
so.
that?
Was it
Was that
before?
the interview?
I think
series?
so.
Oh, maybe.
We
Weird.
got to go back. We got to go back to the beginning and figure out how this
Figure out
happened.
what it was.
Though real fast, that gym, the massage people next door were always complaining about the gym. So they eventually moved to another place. And then I stopped going because it was owned by a Scientologist.
Fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Like
Oh.
long
And
time,
we-
like higher up Scientologist.
Oh.
Ooh, give us a
And we
shout out if you're a
performed-
Scientologist.
And we performed Spies in a place that maybe
Was not
Reaching
a,
global truth.
yeah, not quite
an
Scientology.
interesting church was happening. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they had like committed crimes.
Sure.
No. I hadn't looked in their books though. Maybe
Still
there
a
was some like
strongly-
accounting fraud.
Still a strongly performance-based religion.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
for sure. I mean,
Theater.
theater religion,
Whoa.
Wow.
We are
I mean-
diving in
CrossFit,
And that's-
basically religion.
a religion.
Sure. And a cult always starts as like a positive thing, you know?
Right. Yeah.
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 You go,
Brian,
I
how
see
has
how this
the-
could help me.
How has the vow been?
The Vow. I'm several episodes behind, but it's like
Oh.
any good cult documentary. This is on HBO. It's about this cult called Nexus.
Nexium.
Yep.
Is that
what
the
is
like
Nexus?
the lady sex cult?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It's the one that
Sean's-
Allison Mack, not
and
Alex
Sean's
Mack.
co-star from Personal Space, Nikki Klein, was a big part of.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But it starts off, you know, they show you all the good things about it, like Wild Wild Country. You go, I joined this cult. What a great, what a beautiful thing. Even Scientology, you go, oh, it's like a self-help system. And then like the deeper you get, the more you get into like the sex cult. You know, it's no good.
Wow. I didn't realize they had done a documentary about it.
There's all
there's
sorts of
also-
information you can get on things. Speaking of podcasts, this is one, and you are going to be a part of one.
There's also a really interesting documentary on HBO right now called Lovecraft Country. And
Oh,
it's a documentary.
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's also a podcast.
You guys really like it,
It's a
huh?
podcast.
I think it's
Don
fun.
just started watching it the other night. I want nothing to do with it. It looks so too scary for me.
It's very gruesome and
No.
Oh, yeah.
horrifying.
Yeah, no.
I hit a hurdle in the second episode because I didn't realize how the structure of the show was based on the structure of the book. And then when I figured that out, I went, I like this now.
Is it based on a book or just general Lovecraftian lore?
One book that is
about Lovecraftian lore.
Yeah.
I see.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, the second one, I had a hard time getting through the second one, so I think I'm just gonna skip it.
You should. You should. There's the unfortunate thing is there's a lot of important characters and information that get introduced in the second one. So like read it, watch a synopsis.
A lot of it and like absorb not a ton of it, so I'll just read the Wikipedia.
Watch a synopsis.
The recap.
Yeah, then keep going because it's fun. So MK.
Yeah.
We segue away and segue right back.
This is all sorts of segues.
It's my fault because I asked about Lovecraft Country.
That's the whole point of this. Is like it's a Saturday afternoon. We're just chatting.
Woo.
We got both nothing and everything going on. It's great.
Yeah, that is true.
I feel left out. Should I put on big headphones too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how we all chat now.
Everybody's doing it.
No.
No, I actually just got these. I was like looking up the best podcasting editing headphones because after making a weekly audio thing for well over a year, I thought maybe it's time that I should get some good headphones to use.
Yeah. That I stash these buds and maybe get some big cans.
Yeah. So here we are.
We know a thing or two about cans.
You sure do.
You want to tell us about that project? Which we already know about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so on my Patreon, I have a Patreon. I've been going through the Anne of Green Gables books and reading them and having wonderful friends, such as yourselves, come in and play different characters, so to speak.
I play a boy.
You do play a boy.
I've played a boy and a parrot.
You've been a parrot. But yeah, it's really fun. I'm actually starting on Anne of the Island, which is the third book for my patrons who are like at the level that get the exclusive like first
How many
episodes.
books are there?
There are a lot, but I'm going to stop after this third book because it feels like a good place to stop.
Cool.
Know genuinely nothing about this.
Really?
Talking. No. Like I know this project, but like the books, Anne of Green Gables. I like know nothing about Anne of Green Gables.
That's totally fine.
So my question is, wait, the animals talk?
No, there's just a parrot.
It's a parrot,
talks.
so it goes like.
You see, Corey, in real life, parrots talk.
Corey,
Wait,
your animals don't
thing.
talk to you?
Now, there's a documentary about it
Parrots can
somewhere.
talk. Parrots can, pick up words. So one of the characters, read by Nick Lang, has a parrot, read by Joey.
I see.
Who curses a lot, apparently.
Yeah. And you were like, say whatever curse words you want. It was like, damn.
But it takes place like a century ago. So it's like the curse words are different.
So it's Joey playing a parrot imitating Nick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, more or less. There's more of a backstory to the parrot, but I don't know if we want to get into that now.
You'll have
See,
to
now
listen
I'm interested
to
in
find
Anne
out
of
more.
Green Gables, but how much is it about the parrot?
It's very little about the parrot, so
I
I
don't
can't
remember
recommend.
the pirate storyline.
Are any of the later books about the parrot?
No, I'm so sorry.
Did they do a spin-off about the parrot or
No, not that I'm aware of, but I mean, it's in the public domain, so I feel like we can have at it if that's what we want to do.
Cool.
Could like Anne and the parrot team up to solve murders in New York City or something?
They should in New York City.
New York City.
Yeah, and it's really sexy, and it's coming this fall to CBS.
Oh, interesting. I love this take.
Now, when you listen to books, do you prefer to read the page or listen to an audiobook?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I prefer.
Yeah, that was a tough opening question. And it's only going to get worse from here.
I prefer to not read because I don't read very much anymore. For a person who studied English literature in college, I think I got it all out of my system.
Yeah,
I haven't read a book in a long time.
You got burnt out, It's
Got
like
real burnt out.
you just went, no more books for me. I've read my fair share.
But generally, I think I prefer to read because I like to, hear the characters in my head the way I create them as opposed to the audiobook narrator, which isn't, audiobook narrating is a difficult job and there are many very good audiobook narrators out there. But
I'm often very attracted to like an English accent. Like usually if there's an American person reading a book, for some reason I immediately hate them. And then by like the second or third chapter, I like love it. And you like get it into your head. But my initial impulse is always like, I don't like this narrator.
Yeah.
They don't sound smart.
I listened to some Maureen Johnson audiobook a few years ago, The Name of the Star, and I can't really remember exactly, but the main character was like this young girl from Louisiana studying abroad in England. But I want to say that the audiobook narrator was British and had an English accent and would do everything in her normal accent. And the book is written first person through this girl's eyes. She would do all the narration in her normal accent. And then when the girl had dialogue, she would do this like Louisiana accent. But it was just weird because the whole book is the girl thinking. It took me out of it so much. It was so strange.
But she was the only character that was supposed to have like a Southern American accent.
Yeah.
But her thoughts were British.
Yes, yeah.
Huh, okay.
It was bizarre. It was very weird.
I was trying. There was another Maureen Johnson book. I was like listening to audiobook too, and I don't think I liked the narrator, but they weren't like bad, but it was just like I had a hard time paying attention to them. Just like the cadence of their voice, which was interesting.
I do find that with podcasts sometimes. I can't listen to certain podcasts because I don't like how the narrator sounds.
That's fair. I mean,
it's like a pace, like a rhythm thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if it's not smooth enough, but also if it's too smooth.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like that way about like voices and accents too, where like it's hard to find that balance where like for me the best audiobook narrator, like you can tell when they're like doing dialogue for another character, but they're not doing like a full character voice. So that like breaks it up a little bit so you just have enough context, but they're not just trying to do a billion voices.
Joey just yawned. Joey hates reading. Joey hates reading.
Oh,
Joey hates
reading? Reading?
He's so bored right now.
No, I like reading. I did just read a book that got me super in. I was like amped on reading again. And I had like a moment where it's this book that John Madison loaned me 4 years ago. And I've literally held on to it for 4 years. Been like, I'll read this.
Since before he lived here?
He gave it to me when we were there for Firebringer, and I was like, I'll read it eventually. And like just last year, I was like, I should pick this up, and I read about 100 pages, and I went, I like this. I'm not quite into it yet. And then like a month ago, I went, I'll really dig into it, and then I got into it, and it was great.
What book is it?
It's this book called The Name of the Wind. It's like a fantasy.
It sounds so familiar to me.
It's like a fantasy, kind of like Game of Thrones meets Harry Potter. Like this guy retelling his like life story, and he's like a famous wizard guy, and it's just very good. And there was like one chapter I remember being like at night with my book light, and it was like midnight,
like a
and
kid.
and like everyone was asleep, and I was just in bed going, oh my god,
everyone,
oh my god, is he gonna get his pipes, which is like a thing in the show. He's like playing his lute in like a performance venue, trying to get this like award so that he can then play for money, because he's like so poor, and it's like him trying to play this really hard song, and you're like, oh my god, will he play the song? And it's like reading, man, it's crazy.
I do love it. There is something so amazing about a great book when you just can't put it down. I miss that, but as I've become an adult, I have little attention span.
I feel like it has to be I have less patience now for not the right book.
Oh yeah, but I feel like that with everything, with TV too. You know, it's like I don't want to waste my time.
In my old age, I'm like, if it's a slog, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Also, it just makes me sleepy.
Yeah.
Like if it's reading at night is like a nice thing to end the night, but I get through about a page and a half, and then I'm like, so.
I need to
kind of hard.
Like truly make a habit of putting away my phone, because I just get on Twitter and then I death spiral, and I should just not get in bed with my phone and just instead read 2 pages of a book and then go to sleep.
We'll take it if you just want to drop it by, one of our homes or the office or something every evening.
I appreciate that.
You could do the like leave it out in the living room kind of thing if you.
I just use it for my alarm, which is the bad thing. But
do you need alarms at this point?
That is true.
Like an old school one. You can get like a $10 alarm clock. Does the trick.
$10?
Yeah, here's the thing too. They're battery powered, so like if the electricity goes off, they still have.
You're gonna wake up.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that. Wow, thanks guys.
Yeah, that's it.
I think our work is done.
I think we covered it. I think every podcast we just have a goal to help someone achieve some realization about their life, and then we'll move on.
However long that takes.
You've done it.
We did it.
So,
Speaking
I'll
of
see you later.
alarms and waking up, let's go back to Arkansas and you waking up into the world when you were born. The very beginning.
My goodness. Just 12 years ago.
God,
Just 12
when you were
years
just
ago.
Just 12 years ago.
She's just shy of her bat mitzvah. She will soon be a woman.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, it was really hard working on Wayward Guide and Spies with you as a minor.
Yeah.
Just
I
your mom.
appreciate that, you
Your mom
guys.
was in rehearsal every single day and on set, and had to sign all the
Very good.
paperwork for you. It's great.
And most of the
bet.
budget,
Do
most of that
school.
Kickstarter money went to exactly the schooling.
Yeah,
The teacher
yeah.
is like,
Hiring
Of
a teacher.
course. Which I
They don't work on
appreciate
a
that you
sliding
guys,
scale.
you did that for me.
Yeah.
I would beg my mom at that age to like take me to auditions and stuff. Not that there's a lot to do in Arkansas, but she was having none of it. So she was
Really?
not, oh my God, no. She was like not into that at all for me in life. And look where I am now.
Did you
a reverse stage mom.
Yes, truly.
Did you do mainly like school theater productions? Did you do any extracurricular theater or regional things like that as a young person?
No,
before
because
school?
there wasn't any really. I did extracurricular like choirs, but there was no regional theater in Arkansas at the time, really.
Favorite choral arrangement?
Oh, I have food on my teeth. I just saw it. Sorry.
Couldn't
I
even
do
tell.
What was your favorite Moses Hogan spiritual?
I do remember some of the songs. I like not all of them, but like bits and pieces of choral songs. Were you guys in choirs as kids?
Yeah.
For the trips.
Yeah, sure. Like
I do.
sometimes I'll just get like arroz con leche me quiero casar, like stuck in my head. We did that.
A rose con leche. Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Mm,
why?
A rose with milk.
Or-
A rose with milk.
Another hit is when I am an old woman, I shall wear purple with a red hat, which doesn't go and doesn't suit me. That was a choir song.
Is that about the purple hat or purple?
The red hat.
The red hat.
Purple
Purple ladies.
I was sad because I didn't.
That's a
get the
poem,
solo.
and then
It is a poem. Yeah,
And did they base the social group off of those?
I guess
Wow.
yeah.
so. And we sang about it in my choir.
And here
That
we
is
go. And
funny,
here
though.
the tables have turned, and now we're learning something.
I've got two snatches. Sorry, I just have to. It's like
Snatches?
it's like Tourette's. I've got to sing the choral songs now that it's like
Oh,
in my
please.
head. Okay, the two snatches of song. What would you call them? Bits of song.
Bits,
Snatches.
Just not snatches.
measures.
Just a
Definitely
song.
not
I'm leaning
snatches.
into it. It's a snatch
Snippets.
of song. Listen, I've
Snippet.
taken music classes. It's a snatch. One was just like, I was a something on the rat race of life, and I was going out of my mind. Something to deadlines, but it's all in the deadlines just to keep from getting behind.
I don't
Is
know
this a
that
song-
one,
Is
but
this
I love
a song
it.
about being a dad?
It's like a
Something in
county chorus
deadlines.
It was just all about deadlines.
And my kids, I gotta go to the store. I gotta pick stuff up.
Did anyone do in choir a piece called Voice Dance?
Voice dance.
Yeah.
No, these
think
all
We
sound
did-
good.
There's also many of them. You know how they like publish sheet music in those like little pages?
Uh-huh.
This is like a song that only existed in those, and it has no words. It's all like da 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 da
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's
sure.
the voice dancing.
It's voice dance.
And
dance.
the composer was a friend of our choir
Oh no
director.
way.
But like, so we'd always get the new ones, the new Voice Dance 7.
Ooh. Oh, there's multiple.
Oh, there's a lot. I wonder how many there are now.
Ooh,
You
It's
were
like
like
a whole
the-
thing.
You were like the premier school that was doing voice dance. It was just like you were getting like hot off the presses voice
Well,
dance.
yeah, but like the choir wouldn't do it. Like the vocal jazz group Take One would get to premiere the new Voice Dance. Yeah,
Take one.
yeah.
That's exciting. Choir did introduce me to Big River, which is one of my favorite musicals because we did like a weird medley, of course.
Oh,
River.
we had a joke in college that, that the only song that wasn't in Big River, that was just them going, big fucking river, and that was it. And I don't know, that was
Just
a Nick
singing
Strauss
about the
joke.
river.
Just singing about the river and how fucking big it was.
That's really funny. There are
So-
multiple songs in Big River about the river.
About the river,
so-
but it was like, that's got to be a song, right? Where they're just like, it's a big fucking river.
That one must
They-
have gotten cut at the last
Yeah.
minute.
The musical theater department did it our freshman year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
I've
like
never
that
actually
show.
seen it.
It's
It's
a
great.
good show.
It's
I
the
remember
music
really liking
is
it.
so good.
Well,
Um,
I mean,
I like
frankly, sorry, theater department. I really hated the first couple of plays that the theater department did.
Mm.
That's
And
fine.
I was like, have I made a mistake? Like,
Because
Am
what
I
was
picking
it
the right
like?
Fassbender?
Like Fossbender,
Fassbender, Our Lady of
JB.
and Our
I
Lady of
liked Our
100.
Lady.
I hated everything about it.
Wow.
And I was like, I've made a huge mistake. Why did I come to this
Hmm.
school?
But then you saw Big River and you liked
And I was
it?
like, oh yeah. And I was like, okay,
Aw.
there's good plays happening here. There's like other things happening.
And they're just called musicals.
you know, I loved As You Like It.
How
that
many
year.
shows did your department do each year?
A bunch. I mean, the
Yeah.
theater department did like 5 or 4 or 5.
Like per semester?
Because there's one in each
Or
theater
for the year.
space.
Okay.
No, because there was
This is an Arthur Miller and
An
then
Arthur Miller, a Power
Men-
Center,
a Center.
Mendelssohn.
Mendelssohn. I think it depends. It was like 4 or
I
5.
don't know how you guys remember. I can barely remember what we did when I was in
it's just like
college,
thinking about the year.
4 or 5, and then music.
which
there
hasn't
were, like-
happened yet because I'm 12.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't remember
And
college
then-
because it hasn't happened.
Because hasn't
Yeah,
happened.
and then musical theater, they did like 2 or 3 main stages.
Really?
They did
Mm.
two
We
and
would
then, like, a
only have
studio.
Or like
one,
yeah,
we would only
Under
have
Milton.
one main stage musical a year,
Yeah.
but there were a lot of student production musicals.
One of which
happening.
that I saw.
You did? Which did you see?
I saw apparently you in Pajama Game,
Pajama Game?
but I had no
That's
idea.
what I thought.
Oh, who
When
was
I
in
was
the Pajama
poopsie,
Game?
I was poopsie.
You know, Joey and I were both Heinz.
Brian and I
Which
both
one is
did-
Heinz? Gladys
He's
is.
the
When I
time
go to
study man.
sleep, I don't undress.
Yeah.
He's the like guy who runs
It's a weird
the-
musical. It's got some good
Very
songs.
and you
though.
were both
It's got some
Lumiere,
fun
right?
songs.
We were both Lumiere. We were both.
Both had one of the
Heinz.
same college
I-
audition monologues.
Wait, how did you do?
Yeah.
How?
Like
Crazy.
not at college.
Oh,
in high
just
school. In
in
high
life.
school,
I see,
we
I
got
see,
to
I see.
college and we're like, we both had the same.
They were just that
Tracks
That's
Spider-Man
crazy.
meme of like pointing at each other.
No, But
That's
our
fun.
college did do something similar where they'd cast 2 people and they'd rehearse them separately, and then on the night of the show they'd have to wrestle off stage to see who went
Of
on and did the
course.
performance. It
They'd
was
have
about
to
go
winning.
and
That's
just
what our
break
program's
it.
about.
Break it to one of the actors. We're like, you have not been chosen
Sorry.
to perform this entire show.
There was drama with our Pajama Game actually, because my friend Ben Giroux, who
Ben.
still does stuff. Yeah, he's pretty successful VO
He's great.
actor and other things. He, I guess, was that role. I can't remember, but he was one of the leads, and he booked a pilot, and he was gonna like miss 1 or 2 of the performances to do this pilot, and they took the rest of the run away from him. So he only got to do like 2 performances, and then somebody else had to come in at the
Whoa.
last minute and take over his role. But they like he was still available for the rest of the shows, but they wouldn't let him do it because he booked this pilot.
Was that a big thing going to college in Los Angeles, having the entertainment industry here where people would like audition for like
Not really. I mean, yes and no. I shot my first feature film my senior year, but
Cool.
I was pretty proactive about like trying to start to get out and get work. And obviously that happened with Ben, but that was the only time I could like remember that being a thing where somebody like got a job, a real job. And also we all thought it was kind of mean and stupid because like the whole point of going to school for this is so that we can like succeed, and like
Yeah.
you're punishing him for, I mean, it sucked that he was going to have to miss those performances obviously, but
Did you guys have understudies?
no.
We only. I
They
feel like
started
we only
at the
did.
very end.
They did. We did. We had understudies when we did Tartuffe.
and good thing too, right?
Good thing because someone got
Really?
bird flu,
Why?
Ooh.
swine
Strep.
flu.
One of
Yikes.
those. One of them animal flus.
Strep.
One of them animal
Strep
flus.
throat.
I don't
And,
remember which one it was.
It was
that year.
Ariel,
Yeah.
but it was Ariel.
And then Allie went on for
Uh-huh. And then we had to have like, and it was one of those things where it's like, because the understudy thing was kind of new, and I don't think it was like she was holding a script. So it was one of those like, like if this everyone this should have been taken a little more seriously, so that
Sure.
it was like it could actually serve the purpose it needed to.
Right.
You need to give them one of those like old people on Broadway earpieces.
Yeah, like one of those Brian
Like,
Dennehy,
Brian Dennehy, like
Al Pacino, any of those guys.
Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury, that's the one.
Does she do that?
I don't think she's
Aw.
like hides it either, because she was like,
Really?
I'm old, I can't like.
Man, I don't blame her. I
Remember
don't know
things.
how older actors can continue to
She's
do
also
it.
been old for so long.
Dude,
Sorry.
Oh,
go
you
ahead.
go first.
Well, when we saw Ian McKellen, because I got to see him
Mm-hmm.
in January when I still had hope for what this year might be.
The last
Um,
fun thing.
The last fun thing I did, I went and saw him in London, and he's 80, and he did a full 2-hour show, one-man show, and the whole second half of it is him going through every Shakespeare play and saying a monologue or something from the play. It was insane. It was so, he'd be like, okay, somebody give me, what's your name? What's this one? What's your favorite tragedy? What is his biggest comedy? And then he'd be like, here we are, As You Like It. Da, 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 da. It was wild.
Taken requests.
That was like
Could not believe it.
when we were in New York a couple of years ago and we saw Three Tall Women, the Edward Albee show, and Glenda Jackson, who was in that, who ended up playing. I don't know if it ended up happening. Did they do the King Lear with Glenda Jackson?
I remember
Yeah.
hearing about it.
I
did.
think
I feel like
they
they
did do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was one of those that suffered. I didn't know if it happened pre-COVID or not. But she was unbelievable, and she's like very old as well. And you're like,
That's so cool.
you're great. Yeah, I mean, but it's
Yeah.
also I think like actors like them are just constantly forced to stay sharp
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
those exact reasons
Muscle
too.
memory.
And I think
And they're
Angela
British.
Lansbury is like, she's like,
Also
the
bad.
reality is, it's like my body, I can't do that anymore. So like whatever, I'm just gonna externalize that, but I can still like do and perform and remove that
Mhm.
element that like I just can't do anymore.
It's almost the dream because memorizing the lines is the worst part.
How do you
memorize all those lines?
Which segues to a great question. How do you memorize all those lines, Mary Kate?
How do you memorize all those lines? For real? I don't know.
No.
Any good stories
Okay.
about going up on lines in a show?
Going up on lines?
Yeah.
Like
You mean
forgetting.
like forgetting? No, I never
No, I
forget.
mean like going up on lines.
Oh, okay.
No, me. Never forget my lines.
Me? Never. I forget them on set. I forget them like on a.
But it's harder too on
'Cause, like,
set because you're like suddenly
You're just trying to memorize like these
A certain
words to
scene.
say one, like you
Yeah.
need to like know it so well today and then never again.
I do have a good story about remembering everybody's lines, and that's that when I was in second grade, just a few years ago, when I was Mrs. Claus in the second grade Christmas show, I knew all of my lines, but we had twins playing Santa, the boys playing Santa, because there was like regular Santa and there was rock and roll Santa. So, this is what this play was about. They never knew their lines, and I would whisper them to them, but I was mic'd. So the principal would turn my mic off because
that
she
is
could hear
really
me
funny.
whispering their lines. at
Wait,
them.
Do you remember any of those lines?
Wait,
Absolutely not.
was it written to have two Santas, or was this an adaptation?
I think so. I don't remember. I'm not sure if they were just like, oh, this is perfect because we have these two twin boys who can be both Santas.
Did they take advantage of that at all by like doing any fun? Like he goes out one door and the other comes in the other door, and
I
like,
hope so. I don't remember much
Maybe
about it.
that was the
but
inspiration for the Prestige. We'll have to get.
maybe
Chris-
so.
who
Maybe
directed
Christopher
that?
Nolan was that.
we'll have to get your second. And Mary Kate, you're really lucky because we got your second grade teacher coming in. Hit her to the Zoom.
Oh my gosh, that'd
or
be
him.
crazy. No, it's a lady. She was pretty old at the time. She may not be alive anymore, but she was also very mean. So
I saw there's an interview I was listening to with Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek.
yes, she's so good.
And she was talking about how in the last season they realized that Eugene Levy is like the most adorable stage dad. That
Aw.
like if he was in a scene that like his kids like were doing and he wasn't in, he would just like go get snacks and then like go like by the monitor and watch them
That's so
and like
cute.
emote along with it and say and like mouth their lines.
That's so cute. I love
And then
that.
apparently the whole crew would just go like and just like watch him.
Aw. That's adorable. He's great.
You just like learn their lines and like, oh.
Oh, that's so sweet. Eugene Levy, can we talk about a glow up? He's handsome. And we're like watching some of his like movies that he did when he was like younger, and he's not, he's like such a odd looking dude, and now he's super handsome.
He's a silver fox.
Yeah, he looks great. Those eyebrows.
That is like a lasting trait. You go like, if you got those are gonna look goofy when you're younger, but man, when you're older, you're gonna.
You really like grew into them.
He did. He did.
That's great. That's good for everyone. I'm gonna grab my water real quick. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Well, we're just gonna talk about Rock and Roll Santa a little more. We got some questions. Do you remember any other shows you did like pre-college?
I do. Well, since we're on the elementary school train, we did in 5th or 6th grade, we did some weird Treasure Island adaptation, but it was like totally different. And there was like a guy and a girl, I think, who were like the gym character. They like added a girl to be, and I was that girl. And I did a terrible Cockney accent. Oh boy, real bad. But I remember saying the line, "We have to prepare for battle."
What?
I'm thinking Treasure Island. And thinking I was so cool. In high school, I did Anything Goes, of course, as we all do.
God, Anything Goes. That really is such a classic.
Anything goes.
Did you do any shows in high school that were like either like new shows that they had just released the rights for, that it was like, whoa, we're doing this, or like really uncommon high school shows, or was it all the run-of-the-mill musicals and stuff?
No, yeah, in Fayetteville, Arkansas at the time, we were not really on the cusp of the theatrical news. So no, we were doing Tried and True.
That's where they filmed True Detective.
They did actually. It was a big deal.
Really?
Season with Mahershala. Yeah, they filmed it in my hometown. Yeah. I didn't watch it. I started to.
Do you ever wish that you stayed so you could have been in that season?
No, but I'm mad because I have a friend, Lauren Sweetser, who's an actor and who lives in LA. She was in Winter's Bone. Do you guys remember that movie? With Jennifer Lawrence?
Breakout role.
Yeah.
I was definitely thinking Monkey Bone, and I was very confused.
Also a great movie.
I don't know that movie.
With Chris Kattan and Brendan Fraser.
Oh.
Is that the Stanley Tucci movie too?
No, you're thinking The Lovely Bones.
Whoa, so many Bones movies.
You got Monkey Bone, Lovely Bone, Winter Bone. A trilogy. A really good, strange trilogy. The Bones trilogy.
And that's what Mary Kate's next audiobook trilogy will be.
Yeah, that is what it is. No, my friend Lauren, who lives in LA now, she like somehow got cast. She auditioned out here and got cast in True Detective. And it just like was like, well, I'm going home. And I was like, what the heck? Why didn't I get an audition? But yeah.
One of those full circle moments.
Yeah.
You got to go away just to come back.
It's true.
And speaking of coming back, the present.
The present, yes.
The present. What has like your working relationship in Los Angeles? I know all of us are part of our own kind of like self-producing groups and stuff. And, and how has that been for you? How's it been? How you feeling with everything?
Yeah.
Do you feel smarter and better than you did years before when you weren't doing Shipwreck?
I do. I do think that on some level, every actor should produce, because it gives you a lot more respect for everything everybody's doing around you. On the other hand, I feel like it's ruined me a little bit, because now anytime I'm on another set, I'm like, you guys aren't doing this right. So do you guys feel that?
Is there a bit of relief though also that you don't have to
there is very much
about everything?
When I'm able to just act, yes, it's very nice. But I also am like a little more judgy. I'm like, oh, interesting choice of snacks we have. Like, or you know what I mean? Like
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that? Do you feel like going into other sets sometimes you're like, I would do this differently?
Specifically about the snacks, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, it's like I feel that with most things in Los Angeles that are actor related. It's like I understand the woes of like scheduling things and stuff like that, but to me, I'm always like, there had to be an easier fix here for this to make this like happen. Yeah. It's like, I don't run commercial audition rooms, but I go, there has to be an easier way that this could all have been done so that no one is waiting around for an hour and a half. And it turns out the answer is COVID, because everything's been very efficient since then.
Yeah. No, you're totally right.
But I think more of what Brian says, where the feeling of relief in a weird way of like,
oh yeah,
cool, I just get to come here and do
it
this
is
one
very
thing.
nice. Yeah.
I think the reverse is true too, a little bit, where it's like having been an actor and then becoming a producer, it's almost easier to like take care of actors
Yes.
because you know where they're coming from.
Yeah, I think that's true. And it's also, it just makes you, I think, a more patient actor on the flip side when you're doing things, because you realize how much has to go into producing and how difficult it is.
Yeah. And honestly, these whole last few months, I think, are going to give everyone an appreciation of just like, send me to somewhere where I can just hang out all day with a bunch of people.
Honestly,
it's like once we're on the other side of this, I think people will be like, oh, I have to go to set and hang out for 10 hours with people. How nice.
Hell yeah. I was saying, I don't remember who I was saying this to, but it might have been you, Joey. Just like the other day, I had my Patreon reading, and then I immediately I dropped something off at your place,
yeah.
and then I dropped something off at Brian's, and it was just like 4 hours of like not checking Twitter and not thinking about the world, and just like sort of seeing people and like doing what I like to do, reading a great script. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this has been so nice for my brain to just like escape for a minute. And that's one of the things I love so much about being on set, is because you really do feel like you're like in your own little universe for a minute.
Yeah.
Because you're just focused on what you have to do that day and like telling a story. And that's so nice and good
Big
for
time.
your brain to like kind of get away from how horrible other things are, or just like your other to-do list or whatever. It's just fun.
Or your own brain.
Or your own brain. It's just fun to do something like that every once in a while, and I'm missing that so much.
Yeah, that has been the one. That has been something I've been so grateful for over the last 8 months, is just having this project, having Wayward Guy to work on. I was like,
It's not been
feels
8
like 8
months.
It's been about 6, a little pushing 7.
It's been on our radar. It's been in our subconscious
it'll be
for
8.
8 months.
But yeah, like just having a
Well,
thing to be like, this is
I'm
like a singular
so
focus.
looking forward to the episodes coming out for that reason, to like have something to look forward to and post about and talk about. That's not a crumbling democracy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a nice little distraction, which obviously like we need to be informed people, but it's just, especially this year between pandemic and politics and just, it has been so much, and Black Lives Matter, just everything.
A line to walk between like staying informed and not like ignoring things.
Yeah.
And
taking care of your own like mental health.
Yeah.
Or just making it all like the diminishing returns of telling people you got to register to vote. It's like at a certain point you go, I can only say this so many times.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's a trailer.
You're also just really good in Wayward Guide, so I think people will really like you in it.
I hope
and that'll be great. Maybe it's a new side of you that people haven't seen before.
Oh, interesting. Maybe
But I haven't watched your entire back catalog, so I don't know. So I'm sorry, I don't know.
It'll be a fun flashback to Bangs.
Yeah.
It's a real Bangs flashback. You got
Flashback
so many
to Bangs is my favorite indie rock
it's
band.
like
Corey, this was so funny. On the commentary the other day,
it's
like
true.
Every single friend who came in as a guest, it's like in a row, it was like 6 people were like, man, Mary Kate, your bangs look great.
Independently, they just kept like bringing it up. Wow, those
really
bangs.
Nice. It was really nice.
Oh, thank you.
If someone doesn't know what bangs are, they're like a reverse
Fringe.
face mask kind of.
It's almost a beard.
Remember.
It's a beard for the top of your head. It's a beard for your forehead.
Oh, right. Yeah. Forehead beard. Yeah. They are unfortunately a nightmare for makeup artists and for continuity. And poor Roxy was constantly like coming over to flatten them and make sure they looked the same. But
okay, you have them again though. You just did them.
I just did it. I normally myself, I get them cut like that, and then I just usually push them over because they're like in my face. But I am blessed with the world's biggest forehead, so I need a forehead beard.
Congrats.
I'm like those like Elizabethan ladies that you see in paintings that like their hair, like they would shave their hairline back. So weird. I wouldn't have had to do that. It's already there.
Wait, does that make Joey your beard?
It's bangs for my chin.
Yeah, chin bangs.
These are my chin bangs. This
I love
is
that.
so good. This is so rich.
Yeah.
This-
And
this
Eugene Levy's
wordplay.
eye mustaches are just on point.
Oh my gosh.
They are eye mustaches.
Mhm.
Wow.
They are. But yes, some good bang work
Good bang
happening
action.
in Wayward Guy. That's something for everybody to look forward to for sure.
You
Yeah.
can even hear the bangs in the podcast too. You like you.
Not only was it a problem for the makeup artist, but for the
for
sound
the
makers.
For
audio
sound, yeah.
recording
Just like,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
We recorded them without bangs so that Matt and Mark could add in the
Add
bangs
in
in
the
post.
bang effect.
You want
Yeah.
full control of your bangs, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice
It's so
to
fun.
have a thing and do a thing and
Have a
And
thing and
then
do a thing. I
have a
can't
thing
wait
and
to
do a
hear the podcast because that's
It's
all
great, man.
going to be new to me. Really.
it is great.
I mean-
It's like
You know the most because you're in all of it. But
I am. I sure am.
yeah.
But
Other
I
people
can't wait.
don't
I can't
know.
wait to hear what it sounds like because I haven't like
It's-
heard any of the final.
Oh, it's great. Like
Speaking of, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, just because like the sound design, it's incredible because everyone knows it's like we had to record everyone separately.
Mhm.
No one was doing scene. I think there's like 3 scenes maybe that were done together. Like
We did some outside scenes.
some outsides, and it's like all outside
Distance.
stuff for like, and one scene that you have with
Us-
Sean where it's
right,
like
which we
you
were
guys
able
can
to
stand
be-
next to each other.
Yeah,
It's,
close to each other. Yeah.
But other than that, it's like you can't tell
That's
that
great.
anyone, and it's amazing. It's like
That's
it's
great.
great. It's very cool.
it
Yeah.
sounds like a thing.
Uh-huh.
Thinking about like podcast narrators, like I said at the beginning, that some really bug me. I was like very conscious of that. But then
No, you're
after we
great.
had recorded, I started listening to that California City podcast. Sean and I both did.
What's
And it's not that great. I can't
Okay.
remember it. Sorry.
We're not going to plug it. It's not that great.
Nah,
It's really
don't-
interesting subject
not
matter.
an ad.
But the podcast itself kind of fell flat. But anyway, she sounds so podcasty, and I was a little like, ooh, like maybe I should have like put more of a weird podcasty cadence on the stuff that I was recording.
No, it's good.
You
That's
and
good.
Steve is also just like a bullseye together on the podcast as well
He's
as in
great.
the show. Just like
Yeah.
both of your energies intertwine, and like when he goes low, you go high, and it just works.
Really? That makes me
Mhm.
really happy. That's really cool. Wow. Just
Twins.
magic. Twins. What can I say? My actual twin, Steve Zaragoza.
Actual
You look-
biological twin.
Actual
Biological.
twin.
Twin.
Unbelievable.
Truly. Don't believe it.
Don't believe it is truly unbelievable.
As you should not.
But MK, before we end the podcast portion and go into the Patreon portion
Yeah.
of this chat, is there any last thing you'd like to say
Oh,
to the
goodness.
people, or
The
plug?
anything in your
people.
life that you'd recommend?
Yeah, well, I'll plug my own stuff. Like I was talking about, Anne of Green Gables. It's coming out publicly now, so you don't have to be a patron to listen to it, but you can.
It could be.
You could be. You can join my Patreon and get like almost the whole book now at any level. And then at the $50 level, people are just finished Anne of Avonlea, the second book, and we're starting on the
Nice.
third book.
Nice.
But again, it's coming out publicly now, so you don't have to pledge at all. You can still listen to it week to week, and some really wonderful performances by some of our dear friends, Jamie Lynn Beatty, Dylan Saunders, Whitney Avalon, Sean Prasad. It's great. And then, of
Beautiful.
course,
I know
yeah.
those people.
Yeah, they're good. They're good peeps. And of course, Shipwrecked Comedy, we don't have a lot going on right now, unfortunately, because of, the state of the
You
world. We are working on a 2021 calendar, which we're really excited about. So we'll be selling that soon.
Oh, I
And
thought
yeah.
you meant literally like filling in. I know about the calendar, but I thought you meant
Just
you're like,
like-
wow, you're like filling in the dates already. Just
Filling
figuring
it.
out what
Well,
to do.
also
That
that.
too.
Also
too.
that, trying
too.
to hope that we can
Penciling it
actually
in.
do things next year. And what am I into recently? Oh, Somebody Feed Phil is a great show that I highly recommend
Ooh.
on Netflix. If you're
You know-
wanting some enjoyable, just calm watching.
Speaking of, did you know that a new season of Bake Off started on Netflix?
I watched it last night and it's great.
Is it? We
Watch
can't
the
wait.
whole season.
We absolutely
I
can't.
watched
Well,
it. No, they're doing it week to week.
Ah.
I'm so thankful. Yeah.
I know.
So
that
thankful
was
that
that
that's
was a
coming out
Have
right
you
now.
watched
surprise.
all the last seasons, or can you just dive right in this season?
Oh, you could just dive right
you
in.
can dive right in.
But you should watch the last seasons because they changed up hosts this year.
The hosts are
Like-
delightful.
They're good still.
I like the new guy.
You like Matt Lucas.
Yeah,
He's a funny
good.
guy.
Yeah. I mean,
They're just
it's
a bit of a sausage fest now.
Yeah, a little bit. But
I'm
they're
like,
also
where's Mel and
British,
Sue?
that it's just adorable. Everything they say is just so great and funny and charming.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Fantastic.
I
Well,
will say the challenge they make them do in this first episode is like too intense and weird. But
Really?
but I'm excited for the season. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Well,
let's go out
MK,
on one of our favorite songs. Thanks for being on this podcast. It's our favorite choral medley. It's I Was a Father.
Deadlines with my son.
Voice dance.
Arroz con leche.
Yep.
Roses
Roses with
dance.
milk. Mary
Roses
Kate,
with
you're the
milk.
best.
You're the best.
Okay.
Bye.
See? Was I wrong? A simply delightful chat. Big thanks to MK for dropping by and for lending her talents to so many projects near and dear to our hearts. To follow more of MK's work, you can support her on Patreon. And to check out all the hilarious content she's made with Shipwrecked Comedy, you can support them on Patreon as well, or find them on YouTube. And even though my Spies Are Forever parody song at the top may have seemed like a joke, this is actually our last Talking Trash interview. We'll be back in the future with a brand new format that we've been pioneering on our Patreon, the Sleepover Movie Night livestream, where we revisit an odd movie from our childhoods with special guests. But, like these Talking Trash interviews, the full streams are only available on Patreon. So, to get the extended MK interview, archives of all Talking Trash and Sleepover Movie Night streams, as well as the Patreon-exclusive Wayward Guide after show, and all sorts of other perks, please consider joining the Tin Can fam at www.patreon.com/tincanbros. Much love to you all. Ta-ta for now.